What's up, good people? I hope you're doing extremely well. I have a confession to make today. I have a confession to make. True story, true story. So I started investing in different asset classes in my 20s, in my late 20s, and, stocks and things of that nature. And this is before Robinhood and, Webull and all of that stuff. This is before like the apps where you can invest, where everybody is using now, to invest. This is before that. This is when you had to actually talk to a broker or, use something like E-Trade through your bank account. So I started investing in stocks and things like that. And confession, I did not know what I was doing. And I went a long time without knowing what I was doing until I got to maybe my early 40s. And that's a long time. That's a long time to just be dabbling in investing and doing things, where you're trying to understand what's going on, but you're just kind of doing it. So I'm saying this to say that there are a lot of people that I understand right now who may be feeling like it's too late for them to start investing, or they may be feeling like, hey, I don't know anything about that. I hear all this stuff about investing and, I know it's something that I probably should be doing, but for whatever reason, I feel like I can't get myself to do something like that because I don't have the knowledge base to do that. So I want to tell you that that is not the case. What you need to understand is that there are different forms of investing. There are so many different things that you can put into the investment realm. One of the main things is investing in yourself. And, I started investing in myself around the same time or earlier. I started investing in myself earlier because I did go to college. I did do the traditional route of trying to get an education in whatever I was passionate about, which I did, which was art and music. And I was able to make a career out of those things. So I did those things, and that was investing in myself. So I understood that part of it, investing in yourself from that perspective, but I had no clue about the things we talk about today, which is investing for your retirement, passive income, all those things that we discuss now. I had no clue about those things when I was younger. So today I wanted to talk to you about starting to invest, or how to start investing at 40. And I want to preface this by saying this video is not specifically for people who are 40 and above. There is information here that anyone can use at any level of investing. So if you are entering this video, don't feel like, oh, I can't listen to this, or I can't, absorb this because he's talking about things from a 40-year-old perspective. No, not at all. But I do have some things in here that I do want to stress to people over 40, because I think there are a lot of people still who are on the sidelines of investing. And I'm not just talking about investing in specific asset classes like real estate or the stock market or things like that. What I'm talking about is investing, period, and understanding compound interest and all those things that come with investing to build wealth for yourself and build a financial future for yourself. Even if you're not looking to be mega wealthy or mega rich, just building financial freedom for yourself and your family and for the people around you, so that you can do the things that you want to do. I know a lot of people have that desire, so I want to, that's my passion right now. I want to be able to give people some tools that they can use to get to those points in their lives, because it can be difficult. It can be very difficult, and I'm a witness of that. I just mentioned, it has not always been easy for me to do a lot of these things that I do now, and I appreciate now, and I understand now. A lot of this stuff has not been an easy road for me. So what I really want to do is have the conversations that I wish someone would have had with me sooner about the things that I was doing, to make it easier. It does make it easier when you can have conversations with someone who's been there and someone who has been through something that you may be embarking on, those small nuggets of information go a long way. So I want to have those conversations with you right now, and I want to, start this dialogue so that we can get you to that point. So I won't belabor this point anymore. I want to get started. So I took some notes down here because I know there are a few things that I want to make sure that I cover. They're kind of make or break things that you definitely want to know. So the first thing is, when you are starting to invest, be brutally honest with yourself about what you know. I cannot stress this enough because a lot of times we're all coming from different backgrounds of knowledge. You may be a doctor, you may be a mechanic, you may be a lawyer, you may be a plumber, whatever you are. We have these different backgrounds of knowledge, and as people who are, especially people who are professional, we tend to try to use whatever background of knowledge that we have and apply that to everything. I'm a victim of it myself. I have a really strong creative background, and it has helped me a lot to get into a lot of different situations. Like right now, I talk a lot about business and entrepreneurship and all those things. And my creative background was the catalyst for being able to maneuver into those different environments. But there is a time when you have to be completely honest with yourself about what you know and what you are immersed in and what you're capable of. And the sooner you do that, the better, because what it does is it allows the information that you don't know, it allows that to start seeping in, because you can't acquire new information if you're constantly confronting that with what you already know as the truth, or what you already know as, this is my knowledge base and this is where I'm coming from. So you have to be completely honest with yourself about what you know and what you don't know. So that's the first thing. And once you do that, you can kind of move to whatever other stage of value that you want to move to. By the way, if this is your first time to this channel, please do consider dropping this video a like and consider subscribing if you get value from this. And I'm only asking because it does help out for the YouTube algorithm, as most of you know. But for those of you that don't know, it does help out for the YouTube algorithm. So please do that if you can. Now let's get back to the video. The next thing you want to do is clearly define your long and short-term goals. Now, this is, again, very important because we often don't do this when we are embarking on any journey, anything that we want to delve into for a long period of time that we are hoping to get some level of return from. Sometimes we don't clearly define our long and short-term goals, and it's at our detriment, because what you want to do is you want to have a picture of what you're able to accomplish in the short and long term. And that's what that does. When you define those things, it really becomes that roadmap of, okay, I know I can get these few milestone things done, and that's going to lead me to this larger or longer term victory. And you have to do that. And if you don't do that, what you'll find is that you're always chasing what you're trying to accomplish. You're always chasing it because your mind may be on the long-term goal, but you're not seeing all of the milestones that you can accomplish to give you that boost of confidence and give you that, that staying power to what you're doing along the way. So definitely define those goals and give yourself that roadmap to follow. Now, the next thing you want to do is acquire relevant but easy skills to update your current knowledge. Now, this goes hand in hand with what we talked about first, where you're being honest about what you know, and you want to start then acquiring those easy skills that bring your knowledge up to date. This could be, something like right now, social media, or, whatever web-based tools that are used now that will give you that edge, because everybody may be in that same bucket of knowledge, just as a starting point. I say this to people who may be a little bit older, because as you do age a little bit, you start to get out of sync with what things are new, because you have a bank of knowledge that may be serving you well in whatever area you're in. So I do want you to know that you do want to immerse yourself enough in those easy win skills. Like, if it's something that you can learn in a few hours, that is going to give you more value in what you're doing, more value and understanding in what you're doing, you want to do that. Prime example, as I mentioned before, I started investing when we didn't have Robinhood or Webull or all those things, but I didn't understand the magnitude of what I was doing until I started using those tools that we use now, using them more and seeing different ways that I could capitalize off of the knowledge that I already had. See, I already had a knowledge of core investing and those core principles. But what those new tools allowed me to do was to take that knowledge and to quickly generate revenue in new ways from that knowledge. So always look for those easy skills that you can acquire that will do that for you based on the knowledge that you already have. Now, one of the most important things that I do want to add to that, and this is a core concept, you have to understand compound interest. I think this is a great thing to make kind of your go-to knowledge understanding, or the thing that you want to understand the most when you're talking about investing, specifically in like the stock market and things like that, things that are going to yield compound interest over time. You want to have a good grasp of that. So I would really put some eggs in that basket if you are just starting to get into the investment realm and really want to hit the ground running pretty quickly. I would say definitely think about compound interest and how that really works, so that you can see a big picture of how the money that you're putting into the market or putting into whatever investment is going to yield a return over time. And that's really what it's about. You want to be able to take whatever money that you're putting into the market, or skills or time, whatever it is that you're contributing to what you're doing, you want that to yield a return over time. So really understanding how that is going to compound over time is a great place to start. So don't overlook that. Really put some eggs in that basket. And to go along with that, once you understand those core concepts, aim high. And I want to tell this to people who may have been on the sidelines of investing for a while, and you need to play catch up a little bit. I know, it's one of the hardest things to do, to feel like you haven't done what you were supposed to do in terms of making sure that your financial future is solid and you are on solid footing in terms of your retirement or whatever it is. But you can be aggressive about your investing once you have a good understanding of your risk tolerance, compound interest, and how you're going to accomplish the goals, your money goals, and the things you want to invest in, how you're going to accomplish those things. Once you have those basic understandings, it's okay to be aggressive in what you're doing, because you are still leaning on some core concepts and knowledge that you have acquired over a period of time that someone who may be a little bit younger may not have. Your experience is valuable, so don't overlook that. Specifically your emotional experience, because a lot of times investing can be a very emotional thing. And what I have learned is that if you have emotional intelligence, if you're able to calm your emotions and do some things to put yourself in a state where you're not in a rush and in a panic, it allows you to make smarter investments and do things that I know for me, I wouldn't have been able to do in my younger years. Like, I know as a younger man, like in my 20s, the way I invested in my 20s and the way I invest now are very different, even though I am more aggressive about how I invest now. And the moves that I make, I may be more aggressive and actually less risk averse than I was in my 20s, because I didn't know any better. I didn't know what I was doing. Once you do have that core understanding of those basics, allow yourself to use your experience and be aggressive if you need to, and keep reinforcing your understanding of the core concepts. I can't stress that enough as well. Always reinforce your understanding of the core concepts that you're learning. Never feel like you have learned everything, or if you've reached a point where, oh, I know that, so this is all I have to do. And no, never get to that point, because there's always something that you can learn and that you can reinforce your knowledge base of what you already know with. So definitely keep doing that. Keep reinforcing your knowledge and moving forward in your investments when you do have that knowledge, and it will serve you well. And I know it's cliche, but I'm going to add the adage of what, Warren Buffett always says: be fearful when others are greedy, and be greedy when others are fearful, because it does work. And I can say this as someone who has been in different markets and has invested in different asset classes. You want to understand what the main herd of people are doing. And I'm going to say this, and some people, this may rub the wrong way, and some people may understand what I'm saying. You want to understand what the main herd of people are doing, because oftentimes you want to do the opposite of what the main herd of people are doing. Because I put it like this: a lot of systems that are created to make money, where you have a lot of people involved, usually take from the majority and give to the minority of people. You can kind of take that with a grain of salt if you need to, but I will say that it is something you will see as you begin to invest more. You want to understand what the masses are doing, and you want to understand how the small percentage of people are making money off of that greater mass of people. You have to do what works for you. If I was forced to have to make the decision to only tell you one portion of what we just discussed, I would say do what works for you. Don't get caught up in all the shiny things that people are going to present to you to invest in. Find out what works for you and do that. It may take a little bit of time, it may take a little bit of research, it may take a little bit of money and effort, but once you figure out what that is, focus on doing that, be aggressive about it, and make the gains in your life that you want to make. I hope this has been extremely helpful for someone, and until we talk again, I wish you health, wealth, and freedom.